Ming Pei is one of the most celebrated and prolific architects of our time. Pei has designed some of the most iconic buildings and extensions around the world and has won numerous awards for his unique modernist architectural vision. For instance, the East Wing of the National Gallery of Art in Washington, Miho Museum, Japan, Museum of Islamic Art, Qatar, the Louvre, Paris, Bank of China Tower, Hong Kong, and also the Suzhou Museum. Yeap Huei Sze, commonly known as I.M. Pei, is an Chinese-American architect. Was born in Canton, China on April 26, 1917. His early childhood was spent in Canton and Hong Kong. His father worked as director of the Bank of China. In the late 1920s, after the death of Pei's mother, the family moved to Shanghai, China. His father, who had many British banking connections, encouraged his son to attend college in England, but Pei decided to move to the United States in order to study architecture at the University of Pennsylvania.
What is the influence caused you to choose to be an architect?
I was influenced by my artistic mother, who would take me to see dreamy Chinese gardens, mountain shrines. These have always been most important inspiration to me as an architect. I have never forgotten those gardens, wonderful main edges of man-made and natural design. I have come back again and again. These are my guides to as much as the work of the Le Corbusier and Mies van der Rohe, who I admired as a young architect newly arrived in the US.
Just now you have mentioned that you study at the University of Pennsylvania. However, I heard that you was graded degree from MIT in 1940.
It is because I found that the University of Pennsylvania's coursework, with its heavy emphasis on fine craftsmanship, was not well suited to my interests in structural engineering, so I enrolled in Massachusetts Institute of Technology in Boston. Actually, I considered pursuing a degree in engineering, but was convinced by Dean William Emerson to stick with architecture.
In 1942, Pei received a master's degree from the Harvard Graduate School of Design, where he studied under Walter Gropius, a pioneer of modernist architecture and the founder of the Bauhaus School. Here he came under the influence of the international style, which was to inspire his work for the next 70 years.
And Pei's most famous claim to fame is undoubtedly his work on the renovation of the historic Louvre Museum in France. In 1983, the French government invited him to Paris for the first time. Would he dare ask to undertake the project that modernizing the historic Louvre Museum? His client would be the French, the privilege of France always only for themselves.
I did not accept the honor immediately for good reason. I was concerned an outsider working on an important piece of French history. I want to be sure that I am the right person. I was not sure, and that's how it begins.
This is the most ambitious of projects in Pei's career. He walked around the endless and appealing corridor of the world's largest museum. Then he always searched the core of the problem.
I know that the 19th century's old Louvre Palace struggled to cope with the rising number of visitors. The entrance is too small, each wing had a different entrance and the layers were so confusing that visitors struggled to find entrance and the exit. So, how you solve that issue?
We came to the conclusion that the center of the gravity is right where the pyramid is today at that time. At that time, that place is nothing. It only had some ugly looking trees and parking lots. It will be nice if we make the entrance there, and there is where the reception is. But how will you do it? Nobody except to put a structure right in that place. And yet, if I don't build something there, the only way to get to the center of the gravity is by some kind of the survey. That is unacceptable. After all, lower is lower. We came out with this pyramid because of its shape. It's not like this. That will conceive a lot of more than this. At the same time, the shape is structurally very stable, hence we can make it transparent, very light. The more the transparent it is, the more the places, the low retail is important.
Centerpiece of Huei's design was an extremely controversial and much criticized glass pyramid. It is a major contrast to the Renaissance designs of perhaps the world's greatest and most historic museum. However, the glass pyramid has now become accepted as a cutting-edge example of modern architecture and is one of the most recognizable landmarks in all Paris. From the architect, when commissioned to design the Bank of China Tower on an intricate inland site, Yeap was requested to create an unavoidably tall, unique headquarters in a typhoon-prone region that would represent the aspiration of the Chinese people, yet also symbolize goodwill towards the British colony.
What is your opinion about the skyscraper?
Ever since the early days in Chicago, we had not really made much progress in the designing of the tall building. We had Empire State Building, we had John Hancock Chicago Building. It seems to be nothing new to add to what the partners of modernism already did. I think that the ultimately not really persuading me to accept the commission, say if I can resolve it for its design, and the way to approach it is really too structured.
So, what's your resolution and what do you think to make tall building as a whole new design?
What makes the tall building unique is not the function. That what makes it unique is really has to stand there. And is it earthquake, is it wind, and the wind in Hong Kong as tremendous, and it is about more than twice as much as New York. Therefore, there are challenges, and I love challenge, to design the tall building to resist earthquake and winds. Maybe a solution will come that will give it a character. The best way to construct the building is to put all the floors on the four corners of the building. In that way, the building will be very stable.
Huei achieved in engineering breakthroughs. The highest column of the tower distributes the weight to the building out to its four corners. Each time this column meets the intersection point, the load is carried is distributed by the diagonals to the corner columns. By directing the loads outward to the exterior of the building, this structural system allows column-free interior spaces and saves the money by using much less structural steel.
We just divided the square, the base of the building into 45 degree quarters. So each quadrant will have a major column to take that load up with those in power. The division creates sharp corners. I like that because it takes away from the bluntness of a high building.
A key issue for Yeap was the symbolism of the structure for the Chinese people and the British colony. Original plans included an X-shaped cross brace. However, in China, the X shape is seen as symbol of death. As an alternative, Pei chose to use less menacing diamond forms. The bamboo plant was also a significant inspiration for this unique building. The trunk of this massive structure is representative of the growth patterns of bamboos, the symbol of hope and revitalization of the Chinese culture. Huei's first concert hall, the Meyerson Symphony Center, was the firm's third building in Dallas, an art building to complement the commercial and government buildings already complete. It offered Huei an opportunity to push further his geometrical approach to design. This external geometry translates into grand curve, in the internal foyer, accentuated by the shadowing of the diagonal glazing from the skylights. The Baroque-influenced curved art, particularly dramatic from the staircase up from the underground car park entrance.
Why do you accept this commission?
Music excites certain kind of vibration in me. I feel that this is the moment I would be able to develop more beyond the triangular grid.
Why you choose the grid curve as a design in the Symphony Center?
The National Gallery only has 3 vanishing points because this is triangle. Most buildings only have 2 vanishing points because it's a square. But when you get into a barrack church, the infinite number of varying a vanishing point. Vanishing point is a technical term, but I think most people understand that because of that. As you move around in that space, the space moves. Those are that you get a certain excitement. You stand here and look at it, that's what it is appeared, and you can capture that, but once you move, the space begins to move with you, and I think you will see that. Because of that curved line, they become currently new forms in space.
How do you apply your design in the building?
We can apply other things like introducing a circle to wrap the halls. We can separate circles outside within the 2 rectangular circular forms, and that creates variety of spaces.
The exterior of the large pavilion and lobby is circular and constructed of glass and metal supports to contrast with the solid geometric lines of the actual hall.
It is a natural sequence of change. The architecture is not something that you can just willful to say, so this is the time for me to change my style. No, I don't think so. I like to think that it is an evolutionary process development. Maybe it's more mature. I'm sure it is. I'm old. I see more, but not change. My work is not a one that will excite the pupil. I see you, okay, this I've never seen before. No, in fact, I would like them to say, yes, it is very well done, but I know this is by eye and pay. You know, I don't think you will find this to be breakthrough of any kind. It's just a continuous process of development, and it is a result of having seen a lot and having thought about it.